Start this now. Okay, there we go. And then again, if you have any questions, we'll save that to the end because they might even be answered, and that's the cool thing. So, and the energy is very. I could, when I walked in here, I could feel the energy just kind of like perking up. Yeah. so this is going to be interesting as we get into it.
I'm getting excited.
So as I connect with you guys, you just pass this around, okay? So I'm going to start here because I'm very much aware as I am coming in here. I want to talk to you for a moment, please. Here, let me just give this to you. And I actually have a gentleman that's stepping forward that wants to connect to you. And he's got this way about him where I feel like he worked a lot of there's a lot of physical labor jobs that I feel this gentleman works, but he stands literally right between you guys. So, and I really feel I'm with you. So would you understand about your father being in the world of the spirit world? Your dad? Does that make sense? Because I get dad as he comes in, and it's interesting because he seems to be of a bit of a stubborn man as he comes in. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You can relate to that?
Yeah.
And as I connect with him, he's wanting to make a big deal about his tools or about having his tools within the family. Can you relate to that? Do you know about tools?
I think you're in the wrong spot.
Yes,
Okay, just
not
yeah, because
tools.
her dad, not tools.
okay.
But tools and stubborn, you want to go over there.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. Let me get this. Do you know who Rich or Richard would be, or Richie? Where's the connection there with that? Do you know who the name Rich?
My husband's cousin just passed.
Rich. Okay. Because there's a Rich that I feel like that's coming through because I keep hearing Rich. So I got to talk to you. I know you mentioned her about with the tools, but this is something that I have coming through. I do feel father figure with you, but I also feel, if I'm correct in saying, do you understand about either the heart issue with dad or something with the heart problem? Okay, so it's either the heart, the lungs. Give me a moment. Would you also understand about 4 children? 4. There's 4 children that I need to connect to you with. So either your father, this either one of 4, or there was 4 kids, but he's wanting to bring up the fact of 4 kids is significant. Do you know about that?
Not 4.
Okay, there's 4 children that I need to talk about, but I want to talk about there's a lot of boys in the family. Is that real? Right? Okay, because there's a lot of males in the family that dad keeps on wanting to bring up. And it's so interesting because as he's stepping forward, he's wanting to talk about, I don't know where the miscarried baby is, but I need to talk about the miscarriage baby that didn't make it here after your father passed. Where's the baby that did not make it? Can you relate to that? Because there's that's coming in here. Would you also understand about your father being on a boat or wanting to be on boats of the ocean? Does that make sense to you? Okay.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of ocean he wants to bring me to, and he's bringing me. He's like saying, "Tell her I'm on the boat." I also see that this man is saluting me. Okay, so there's definitely military connection with him. Is that right?
Yes, his uncle, like an uncle of his.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's military connections that I feel that's connected here. And I know that we just passed, but I also know that the month of March would be very significant as I go around that with dad.
Birthday, yeah.
That's your birthday?
Yeah.
Okay, because I just got to talk about your dad's wanting to talk about the month of March. So if we just got out of that, so it's just a acknowledging that with him. And there's something else. You know there's something with the newspapers or newspaper clippings with your dad. This is so strange. Can you relate to that? The newspaper clippings.
Yeah. I mean, he would read the newspaper every Sunday morning and the comics and yeah.
Right.
He always had like the newspaper growing up when I was little. Yeah.
There must be something that he also did that was in the newspaper though. Do you know about that? Can anybody? Nobody else can relate to this information. A man who did something. I still feel I'm with you, because your dad's stepping in.
I mean, there was. He was he had a business in Staten Island. He was very well known.
Okay.
So,
So he's bringing up the newspaper clipping saying, I was in the newspaper. So I just got to bring that up, that being significant as it comes in. And I also need to mention now, you have the sister, is that correct?
no.
Where's the sister connection? Because he's saying, talk about the sister. Did he have the sister that he did not get along with?
Yeah.
Be-
Well, yes, and
Be-
I was very close with her. I'm a lot like
Oh,
his sister.
Okay, because he didn't get along with his sister, though.
He always had she take care of her.
Right,
She
okay.
was a shopaholic. And,
There's definitely
yes,
like tension that I feel like between them. And I feel like this kind of I know that he loves his sister, but I also do know they get on each other's nerves.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
He's coming through, and your sister's alive. His sister's
his
alive.
Sister no, she passed.
She's passed.
But he wasn't able to be at her.
Okay. I feel a separation that happened with them when they were both alive here, because the way he's making me feel is that they were separated.
Yeah.
Is that right?
They kind of were, yeah.
Okay, and I feel like you had said that they didn't get to see each other at the end, so that would make sense because I feel a sense he's making me feel like I'm kind of being pulled apart or distant from my sister.
Over that.
So, but again, your aunt was very stubborn, and so was your dad, just in a different way. Does that make sense? So they had their own quirks of how they had to deal, and they just didn't mesh very well. So I need to bring that up. But your father's coming in here and wanting to talk to you about. I don't know what you did, but he's wanting to thank you for what you did at the end, especially with the hospital. Does that make sense? Because he's saying, please tell my daughter, thank you for what you did. And you had either an argument with the nurse, is that right?
Yeah.
You had an argument with the nurse.
He had bad COPD, and we were waiting for the respiratory therapist, and I was at work, and I came down, and my mother, the man couldn't breathe, and my mother's sitting there looking at him, and I'm like, what's going on? And they called respiratory and just left him, so I went in the hallway.
And I know you were arguing with it, because he's saying, tell my daughter thank you for what she did for me. So he wants to tell you that, okay? It's very important. I also feel that with your dad, he's wanting to give me a sense of, I smell Brute, the cologne Brute. Is that you?
No, maybe he would always have his cologne on. Yeah.
Oh, okay, because I'm
that was
smelling
like his smell.
smelling a strong. Do you know if he wore Brute aftershave?
He might.
Okay.
It was
Because but it's strong. You put it on a lot.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Because that's it. So this is definitely your dad coming through. He's got a lot of love for you. I'm going to tell you that. I'm also going to mention there must be. I don't know where the horses would be. Do you know about the horses?
He loves the horses. That was his favorite place to be, the track.
Because he's saying, talk to her, tell her I'm around the horses. I'm around the horses.
He owns a horse at one point. Yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
That was like
okay.
his favorite place.
He's stepping in to talk about that, so I need to give you that because he's in the spirit side of life talking about, he's betting, he's doing the bets, that's it, okay? So he's enjoying life on the other side there. I know I also got to talk about that as I go around you. There must be either, who's having the baby? Is there a baby coming into the family?
No, but my cousin has 2 babies that I never had a daughter. I have one son.
Right.
I had breast cancer at a young age.
Okay.
So my father was right by my side. And my cousin has a little girl now, and I'm her godmother, and she's like a daughter to me.
Because he's talking about the baby now. Is she 2? Is she 2 years old?
Yeah.
Okay, because he says talk about the 2-year-old baby. So I need to talk about that. Your father's very much around her, very much around you, watching you move over the child and protect her and take care of her in the way that you were never able to do. So it's Dad's way of acknowledging that as well. There's something else I need to mention. He's saying thank you for holding on to all my cards. Do you know about the cards?
Yes.
You understand about that?
I totally
Okay,
understand.
as long as you can understand that, because I don't know what it means, but he's saying, tell my daughter to thank her for holding on to the cards because he sees that from the spirit side of
I
life.
know exactly what it is.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, awesome. Yeah, he's bringing that through. I need to get that across. I'm gonna just shift a little bit, but your father, he's got a lot of love for you. He says, "Tell my daughter I love her," and I'm just gonna move forward with that. I may come back to you, but we're gonna move
Thank
forward.
you.
So I do want to come through. I'm actually getting a lady between you two, and I'm not sure if I'm with you or if I'm with you, but I'm getting drawn more to the back. And I got to say that this lady's very strong. She's very resilient. She's more of like the matriarch of the family. And I want to talk about mom as I come in here. I feel like a mother figure. So would you understand about moms being passed? Okay. Can you just hold the mic, please? Because I do feel like I'm with you for a moment because mom's wanting to step forward, and there's actually a sense of you. I don't know what it is, but there must be a lady who is in your family that wasn't. I feel like they moved away from the family for a while, but then they come back. Does that make sense? Do you know who that would be? No, you living, alive. Because he's giving me a sense that there's actually a lady that moves away from the family but then comes back, and that's the feeling that she's giving me. Hold on for a moment. Would you understand about your mom having beautiful hair? Because she's making a big deal about her hair. Does that make sense?
She was always concerned how her hair looks.
Okay, because she's coming in and she goes, "Oh, my hair looks beautiful now." Okay, and she wants to thank you for doing her hair. Does that make sense? Did somebody do her hair before she passed?
Well, I fixed it a little bit for her in the hospital.
Okay, because she's thanking you for doing her hair here. I got to tell you that she's saying, "Tell my daughter that my feet are not swollen anymore."
Oh my God.
Do you know about that?
Yes.
Okay, because she's saying, "Tell her my feet are not swollen anymore. I can walk now. I can walk now." And your mother, when she was here, you know that she had a sense where she would like to. She moved around very quick when she was younger. I just feel like she was boom, boom, boom. Your mother was a multitasker. I'll tell you that. Your mom's also wanting to bring up the fact of either sewing or doing something with needlepoint. Where's the needlepoint? Or is that her mother?
Her mother.
Her mother. Okay, she's with her mother because I have a lady that's coming in that's doing needlepoint, and she's just moving my hands as I come along here and sewing. And there must be blankets that are still within the family that your grandmother made. Do you know about blankets?
That would be my father's mother.
That would be your father's mother. Okay, because she's coming in. You got like a whole slew of people stepping forward now that's coming in. That's interesting because there's a sense of that. Now also your grandmother, hold on for a moment because just a couple people. Your mother wants to come in strong. Was she the one who had a lot of shoes? There's something she's making a big deal about her shoes. Or something to do with about a collection of shoes. What does that mean to you?
My grandmother?
Your mother.
Oh, my mother.
Would you understand about the shoes and the pocketbooks that are left behind? Like a lot? Like I'm not talking about 5, I'm talking about a lot.
I think she probably had a lot of purses.
Okay, because there's that comes in. And where does and I know this is a very common name. I don't like to use these common names unless I hear it. But there's actually a Mary or Maria that comes in.
That's my father's mother.
That's your Marie. Okay, because I need to talk about that. She's coming in. A hello from her. So that's stepping forward. Now, excuse me. They're making me. They're like. So I do feel that your grandmother's stepping in, but there's also a sense of now your there's also a father figure that's here. Your father's crossed as well, right?
No.
There's somebody who's like a father figure to you.
My father-in-law.
Your father, okay, that makes sense because when I get information, sometimes it's father-in-law. Now understand that when I bring through information, I may give you names, I might be wrong on the name, but I won't be wrong on the syllable or the sounding of it because it comes in very quickly. So father and father-in-law is very close. So I do have this father figure that's stepping forward, and I'm calling him a father figure because he really was to you. Does that make sense? There's a strong connection here. Would you understand about your father-in-law having a problem with his knees, or is that correct? Okay, because there's a sense of him with his knees, and I almost feel like I'm on a skateboard as he comes in. So there's that sense here. But he wants to talk about there's 2 boys that he's acknowledging, 2 boys to be specific. Is that right?
2 sons.
He had 2 sons. Beautiful. Because there's wanting to talk about 2 boys, and I need to mention that he's so very proud of his boys, of where how far they've come. But specifically, one of his boys, I know that made an impact in the community, or an impact in a lot of people's lives. Does that make sense?
Yes.
With what he does for a living or his life purpose. Does that make sense? And your father-in-law, his father, is stepping forward to acknowledge that he's so very proud of them. And it's more than that. I need to mention about either what looks like, it looks like and I keep being brought near either a lake or wanting to be by a lake, of memories of by a lake. Does that make sense to you? When they were young.
But they did a lot of camping when they were young, and
Okay. So if you could maybe reach out and maybe talk about this, because I know that there would be memories of a lake with his boys that would be very, very particular to him.
maybe they had a camp in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Maybe a lake nearby.
All right. Yeah, I feel this as he's bringing this to me here. Now, I also am being shown, would you understand about your father-in-law having the bigger glasses? Is that real? Because he's putting big glasses on me, so... I know that as I get his persona, as I connect with him, he's putting these big glasses on. And I could see this. And photographs of him with these big glasses on. Is that right?
Yes.
Because he's also wanting to be a jokester. Does that make sense?
Yeah, he liked to joke.
Your father-in-law likes to joke. I know he could be very serious at times, okay, when he has to be. But your father, you got to really know your father-in-law to understand his jokes. Does that make sense?
I would say so.
And he's got a dry sense of humor with him.
Yeah.
Right? I also feel, would you understand about the man in the wheelchair? The man in the wheelchair.
That's crossed, or
That's
still here?
past. Because there's a man coming through in a wheelchair that I need to talk about that's connected there. Can anybody take that information? A man in a wheelchair who wasn't able to walk. Because I have a...
At the end, I don't know.
Is it for her?
I don't know. I mean, I'm
think
just
Alex.
picking up a man in a wheelchair. I feel like I'm still with you, but
Well,
again,
they had someone that couldn't walk towards the end.
couldn't
But
walk.
I don't know that he was in a wheelchair.
Okay, all right. Because I just feel like I feel like I'm in a wheelchair. I got to go with the evidence that they give me. But there's definitely that comes through. There's a hello from this gentleman. And would you know if he had no hair, like at all? This man had no hair at all.
No, he had a full head.
He had a no. There's a man in a wheelchair that's coming through. That is almost like bald. I feel like I don't have hair, so I have this gentleman stepping forward to me here. Very particular in his look, but I'm just gonna say hello from him. I know you might not be able to take the information right now, but I do feel this gentleman stepping forward. So you got your father-in-law, you got your mother that's stepping forward, and would you understand about who's either Tina or TT or that name, to be specific? Tina? Does that name can you relate to that information? No? Okay, there's that name that's very particular. I feel like the energy's drawing back. Can you understand this information?
I'm TT.
You're TT. Okay. All right, can you just pass the microphone to her? Because I just feel that I did feel like I was drawing away from you, and I just wasn't exactly sure. So I do feel that there's actually a gentleman that wants to make himself known to you, but there's also a young female that wants to be drawn to you, okay, as well. And I do feel that this man that comes through, I do still feel that there's a father figure that steps forward. So dad's passed as well with you, right? And would you understand about him, you having, there must be an old vise or like an old, like where you put wood in, right? Because he's telling me, talk to my daughter that you have my old vise.
Yes.
Okay? And I know that I would be cranking this here as he comes in. I know that he's here. He's wanting to also talk to me about either, I don't know, who's Julie or Juliana or Jules? Where does that name come in?
Aunt Julie, but that's Lapashinsky.
Right.
Are you guys connected?
Yeah.
Oh, you are? Okay, all right. Because I just pick up a Julie, but I want to go with, I still want to stay with your father here because he's the prominent one that comes in. There must be either an old pack of cigarettes that I need to talk about. Was your dad a smoker?
He quit,
Okay.
but he was.
He enjoyed his smokes
He
very
did.
much.
He did.
Okay. And because I just feel like, see, look, now that they're out of the physical body, they're able to enjoy the things that they once would limitate them in the here physically. Would you understand? Because your father's saying that he would have smoked Lucky Strikes. Do you know if he
that
smoked?
Was his father.
That was his father who smoked Lucky Strikes.
Right.
Because I have a man coming through smoking Lucky Strikes as he comes in, and I also do enjoy. I do enjoy my drink. Does that make sense with Dad?
Yes, very much.
Because I feel as I make that statement to you, he's enjoying the drinks. It's very important. Wait a minute. There's something else. What would you understand about either having alcohol? There must have been either a small little alcohol bottle put next to him or with him after he passed. Do you know who did that?
That would be your grandfather. Grandma used to give him brandy or whatever he was in the hospital. She used to tell us.
Because there's an alcohol bottle that was put next to him or near him right around when he passed. So I don't know if you can't relate to that information. Like I said, there's going to be some things I'm telling you.
Yeah, but it's a man.
It's a gentleman.
Hospital bed, not,
Yeah, there's something to do with about the alcohol being put next to him or in with him when he passed. That's the feeling that I get. And I keep saying Johnny Walker. Do you know who drank the Johnny Walker?
Probably his father.
Okay, so there's that's coming in. I need to talk about that. I have this gentleman that's just shouting at me, and he's enjoying his drink, but he's very loud in the way that he comes across. So if your grandfather was a loud gentleman, I don't know if you know him, but that's the feeling that I have coming in. Would you also understand about there's a female that's stepping in here who's taking out her teeth and is joking about her teeth. Does that make sense? Can you 100% understand that?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay, because she's wanting to joke about it, but there's a form where I want to just take it out and move it around. I don't know if she did that. And she's talking about that she's got all of her teeth now, so there's a joke within the family on that. And I also need to mention, why do I want to talk about my feet? But there's something funny about my feet that I want to joke about. Where's the person? Oh, this is interesting. Why is she making fun of the man with the duck feet? Or what's with the duck feet? There's got to be an inside joke about duck feet or wanting to walk funny. What does that mean? I know that this is an information that
Dad used to, when we were little in the pool, he used to swim like a duck and spit water out of his mouth.
That's so funny.
Like he literally looked like a duck.
Okay, all right, because he's telling me to talk about the duck, but walking like a duck, or
No, he swam like a duck.
He swam like a duck, so it's swimming like a duck. There's something to do a reference with acting like a duck, so I just got to come
He used
through.
to do Donald Duck voice.
Oh, okay. He
and
did.
sneeze like him.
Because, okay, your father's coming through with his humorous side because he's given me the impression of the duck. So So I know that this is Dad coming through.
Right.
I got to talk to you about that. First of all, your father he's very spontaneous and he's very witty. Okay, that's just his personality. But I also need to talk about that. He's also got a serious side to him because I feel that there's a point in his life where I feel that he either had to move he had to either move geologically where he was, and then he comes back to like let's say if he was staying in New Jersey, he had to move to Florida, and then he had to come back to his place. But I feel a sense of not being in one place and moving around when I was younger. Do you know about that?
When he was little, all he did was move from place to place to place.
Interesting.
It was
Huh.
in New Jersey, but it was house to house.
It was
Yeah,
multiple because I feel like I'm moving more geologically and I'm not in one space, and that's the feeling. I'm just getting your father's persona of not only what he was once like, but also his whole entire life story, if you will, as he comes in. There's also a sense of who's Jerry. I hear the name Jerry. I'm with Jerry or I'm with Gerald. Who's Jerry? There's a Jerry in the spirit side of life, or Gerald or Geraldine, but I got to go with that name. Again, I could be wrong with the actual name, but there's like it's.
I'm going through the family.
George.
Is he with George?
Hold on for a moment. Would you understand about this man having a beard?
No, he did not.
No. There's a Jerry or I got to go with that name. And I don't know. I don't know where I could place that, but it's very significant. I also got to talk about that. Your father's referencing his watch. I need to talk about a watch that was left behind. Do you know about that? You wouldn't understand that.
I think my nephew has it.
The watch, okay. Because I feel like I'm pulling back from you. I'm gonna come back to you in a moment. But I have a man here and this is very predominant. He's making a big deal about his watch. So I don't know who I'm with, but who can understand about the watch being significant within the family? Watch, it's got to be a gold watch. It doesn't have to be very fancy, but I feel it's one of those stretch watches. Could be a Timex. But I'm getting a big deal about wearing my watch, having my watch. It's very significant. And I do feel that with this gentleman here, there must be something to do with either World War II connections or the
Daddy.
Didn't he have like a
He had
A
I
pocket
just
watch.
gave the watch to my nephew.
you just gave the watch to your nephew.
Yeah, it was a pocket watch we received for his retirement.
Okay, all right. And would you know?
Gold, right?
And it was gold. Would you know if it had an American flag on it? Do you know about that?
I don't think so.
If you open it up, would there be an American flag?
Very possible.
Okay. If you could please look into that because I see an American flag here. And would you also know that the battery needs to be replaced in this watch? Because I know that it hasn't been replaced.
Yes, that's true.
That's true. Because I have this that comes in. He's telling me to talk about replacing the battery. I also do know that as he steps forward, there must have been, I don't know where I'm being shown this, but there's definitely the service connection is important to me. I do feel that, I do feel like I want to talk about, would you know if he was in the Marines, to be specific?
No, he was in the Army in World War II.
He was in the Army, okay.
My father-in-law was Marine.
Was in the Marines. Okay, I'm gonna work with you in a minute, but I'm getting a man that's coming in. See, a lot of times what happens is when I'm talking to somebody, it gives an opportunity for somebody else to come in that has the same reference point. So I need to mention the watch is significant. I need to mention that the battery needs to be replaced, but I also do need to talk about there must have been I lost a son. There must have been a son.
Yeah, my son passed away. His son, yes.
Okay, because he's wanting to talk about I lost a son, and I need to come in here as I connect. Would you understand about? I'm sorry about that because this man is bringing through this gentleman that's coming in now. All of a sudden, I feel him. Would you understand about this younger gentleman passing very quickly or unexpected? Does that make sense? It's a very quick. Don't tell me how he passed, but do you understand about an unexpected passing
Kevin?
with him?
I had a nephew that was killed at 4.5 years old.
Okay. Hold on for a moment.
Okay, so now,
D- d-
now to watch, would it be Uncle Bob talking about Kevin?
because let me just go with this, because there is a younger gentleman that's stepping forward, and I say gentleman, I don't feel a child, but and I know you did mention about the child passing at 4. You said was killed, right? Let me just go with the younger gentleman who's passed, because I do feel I'm getting a mix of different things. Would you understand about a man who passes from a cancer passing?
Yes.
That's right.
Okay, that's him. Okay, because there's the cancer passing, but I do feel that I feel like when it happens, I feel like it happens a very quick pace, and I feel like it spreads. Is the feeling that I get.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So that's where my younger gentleman. When I say young gentleman, I don't mean to. Sometimes everybody has different ways of looking at young, but he was young for his age to go, right? And would you also understand that as I connect to him, there also would be a Bobby or a Bob or a Rob connected to him. Do you know about that? It doesn't have to be past, but it could be living as well.
Yeah, I have had a nephew, Bob, and a cousin, Bob.
You had
He was very close to my cousin.
Okay, because there's a reference of that, because he's just, and now your cousin still, is he here or passed? He's passed. I'm not exactly sure where he's going with this, but I need to talk about that. He's given me just the family dynamics of the connections of kind of where they're at. But I got to talk about that. He's referencing about his this young man with the cancer. Would you understand about him having a daughter that he left behind?
No, he wasn't married.
He wasn't married. There's a young girl that I need to reference. To me, it makes me feel like more of a daughter figure. But I need to. You? Did you take care of him?
Kind of.
You did. Okay.
He was like a father.
He was like a father to you. Okay, because he's wanting to reference with you. And there's almost a thank you for you taking care of him, but it's very much at the end here is the feeling that I get. Okay. Oh, that would be you. Okay, can we just get the microphone over here? I'm sorry we're bouncing a bit, but the energy is just shifting. Okay, would you understand about this man? This is the man with the cancer, correct? Okay, and would you understand about you actually having to do the work to take care of him at the end? Yes, okay. Because he's wanting to thank you for that as he's stepping forward. And would you understand about this man either wearing flannels?
Yes.
Yes, because he's wearing flannel shirts as he comes in. Okay. He's got a lot of love for you. He says, please tell her thank you for what you did for her, for him, because you made his life the most comfortable that it could have been, especially at the end. Okay, you've really stepped up your game here with him. And it's important that I need to mention that you must have either been recently going through things of boxes. Is that true? Right? And would you also understand that would he have medals that he left behind? Medals or awards?
Would be your father.
My father had awards, not my brother, but
Okay, there's awards, but going through these things, I know that you would have all your family's belongings, right? That has passed. But I got to go back to your brother because he's making a big deal about what you did with his clothes. He's like laughing about this.
my mom was cleaning out his things and I had a fit and I said, you can't give his clothes away. So I took a lot of his t-shirts
Yes.
and my daughters and I shared them and I still wear them.
Okay, because he's just laughing about what you're doing with his clothes. And he's talking about his socks as well. Why is he's laughing hysterical about his socks?
I didn't keep the socks.
Okay.
I didn't keep the socks.
He's-
Just the t-shirts and his sweat jacket and his hat. It's still
But there
in my
must
car.
be a socks that has his initials on it. Is that right? Is that real? Would you know about that? Is there socks that has his initials on it?
No, I don't have any socks.
You don't have any socks. There's something to do with initials and socks. I gotta mention that. Okay, I know. I know you can't relate to it now, but there's a reference to socks and initials.
They're not his socks and they're not initials, but his brother-in-law's a pain in the ass with his socks. That maybe
No, I don't feel it's that. There's something to do because this would be your brother who's with the cancer, okay? Because there's this connection. You understand about either what's with the birds? What's with the Tweety birds?
When we were little, our grandmother had birds in cages.
Okay, because I hear these birds, I see these birds, and would you understand, he's wanting to joke, and I don't know if you remember this, but your brother's wanting to talk about, he did something funny with the birds with your grandmother back then. Do you know about him? And I think she knows what I'm talking about.
Do you know? Do you know?
No, not really, but I'm thinking, well, those birds, what did he do to them?
Yeah.
She had many canaries.
She had a lot.
And she used to let them out.
I was just gonna say that. Your brother's wanting to. He's stepping forward and he's wanting to talk about either joking about where the bird went or what happened to the bird, and he's doing something with it. He's like putting it somewhere.
I know. Remember, he got out.
What's with the? Okay, this is going to be very strange. I'm telling you, your brother has a very unique sense of humor.
Yes, he does.
Right?
Yes, he does.
He's got a very unique sense of humor. He's wanting to reference about the birds in the bed. This is so weird. He either do something, put a bird in the bed, or put it within the bed, or there's some reference to that. I don't know what this is, but he's saying to talk about the birds with the bed, or birds in the bed. There's that reference that I get. And see, he's ticking the thing, so he's telling me I'm right.
I think about that one.
Because there's a reference with that. So if you can't relate to it, just have a think about that, because I know that there's something to do with birds in the bed, in the bedroom, and there's a joke about that. There's definitely a joke about that as it comes in. And was he big into either his chocolates with your
He used to love Ferrero Rochers.
Okay, because I know that he likes chocolates. I know he likes sweets, but I know he likes chocolates to be specific. He because I could feel that I could taste all the sweets that he's eating. But he didn't listen to anybody. He never listened. Never once listened, right? You could tell him something and it'll go in one ear and out the other. Does that make sense? There's that reference that comes in, and there's more than that. I need to also mention now. I talked to you about the flannels. Now, there must be one particular flannel that is still left behind, but it's almost like a reddish burgundy one that he liked to wear. Do you know about the reddish burgundy flannel that he wore? Because that was his favorite.
He had a lot of them.
That was his favorite that he wore. And I also do need to talk about, you have his belt as well. Is that right? Okay, because he's mentioning the belt, saying, "Tell her she has my belt." I said, "Okay, all right." He's very very anxious. Your brother here. Now I also got to talk about that. There's a question that I know that you've been having, and your brother is saying to tell her yes that was really me. That was really me. You had a dream about your brother. Is that right?
Yeah, Aaron.
Okay. All right, there was a dream about your brother, and I know that he's there, but it almost seems like it sounds far away to me. I don't know if this is me or if this is something that you experienced, but I just got to give you what he's saying. He's saying, tell her that the dream that she had of me was very real, and you're going to find the bird feathers. He's saying that's me leaving it for her. What does that mean to you?
I had a very, very vivid dream that he used to help me out doing a lot of work around the house.
Right.
And I there were so many things that he didn't get to help me with, but I always wanted to put those lights. We have a big backyard, so I wanted to do those, string those lights like people do around the backyard. And I had this most vivid dream of him in the backyard, way in the back, like by our little fire
Was he
pit.
standing on a ladder?
Yeah, and he
Because
had,
he's standing on a ladder. He's saying,
yeah, he was like hanging up curtains that were blowing with these lights, and
right.
I was like in the middle of it, but I saw him there, and he was doing this because that's what I
And he
wanted.
sounded far away, though, right? It sounded
Yeah.
like he was kind of more of a distant. It wasn't
Yeah.
more of an up close thing.
Mhm.
So that would make sense to me. Because he's mentioning that, but he's talking to me about the bird feathers that he's leaving you.
Yeah, every now and then I'll find just a random feather when I'm gardening or something.
Okay. Okay, beautiful. Because there's something to do about, I don't know, it's so strange. Who would be either, are you the one that started the garden?
For him?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, because he's telling me I saw the garden. I saw you do the garden.
The tree. Before he passed.
And was there a bench as well, like a little
There's a bench.
bench? Because he's saying talk about the bench.
There is a bench.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Because he's saying talk about the bench, that you would understand that.
Yeah.
To prove to you, indeed, that his soul is coming through to acknowledge not only what he was once like, but also things that you're doing now. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. He's got again, this man, you know, I can say this to every one of you because all your relatives they love you very, very much. But it's these details that come through that makes it for me. He's got this way about him where he's wanting to show appreciation for what you did for him. Okay. And I know that your brother, he liked to, he was not one to show emotion. Does that make sense? Right? And I know that he was not one to hold he held a lot of his emotions in, but he showed it by doing things for people within the family rather than, you know, your love language is a little different than your brother's, and he acknowledges that. But I also do need to talk about that there's a mother figure that's stepping forward here, that's coming in. There's a mother figure that's stepping forward. And I'm saying mother figure because she seems to be she seems that she acted as like a second mother to you, is the feeling that I get. Do you know who that would be?
It could be one of my aunts.
Okay. Very nurturing in the way that she comes, but she's hold on for a moment. Now that's your mom, right? Okay. I need to talk to you for a moment. Can you just pass the microphone over to her? Because I do feel that this is your mother stepping forward. Your mother there's a mother figure, but I feel, where is the 6 children come in?
I'm one of 7.
You're one of 7. Okay. Give me a moment. Would you understand about, I'm off one. Wait a minute. Would you understand about if there was one child that wasn't around the family as much as the other 6?
Yes, my sister lived in Long Island, so always
She was far,
she
right?
was so far away.
Okay. Because I got to talk about that your mother's stepping forward to talk about 6 children that was predominantly around her in her life.
That's right. We're all very close.
Very close, right? And I need to mention, there's a reason why I switched from your daughter to you, because there was a sense I was getting this mother figure that was stepping forward, and then it really felt like a grandmother, so I knew I was talking about your mom. But I need to mention that your mother, would you understand her? I almost feel like she had to do everything herself. Does that make sense? She was a very strong, and there's definitely a strong faith base with your mom.
Very much.
Okay, because she's showing me a lot of like religious scriptures. So when I see religious scriptures, to me, I know that there's a strong faith base with your mother as she comes in. And I also, and is there Catholic Christian background there? Okay, because I saw the Bible. So she's coming in with her Bible. And I know that you must have your grandmother's Bible that was passed down. Is that right? Is that true? There must be an old Bible that was kept.
I have an old Bible, yes, but I'm not sure where it came from.
Okay. I do feel like your grandmother's showing me this, but I also got to talk about your mother, okay, for a moment. Would you understand about her wearing the pearl necklace? There's
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so that'd be your grandmother, your mother, because she's coming in with the pearl necklace.
Always wore pearl necklace, right?
Beautiful, beautiful. Because she's coming in, she wants to talk about that she's wearing the pearl necklace, and I know that there would also be a photograph that you would have of your mother wearing this pearl necklace, and there's a blue dress she's wearing.
It was to somebody's wedding.
Do you know about the blue dress? Because your mom says, talk about the pearl necklace and the blue dress that I'm in.
Grandma Rose wore a blue dress to my wedding.
Could have been many things.
Many things, but
Right.
you can relate to her wearing a specific blue dress
Yeah.
in something.
Your wedding pictures, didn't she have a blue dress with the pearls?
I was gonna say, isn't there a picture
Oh,
of
yes,
her?
yeah, you're
There's
right.
a picture with
Yeah.
her.
That's
Isn't
Yes.
there
Her
a blue
hat.
She
dress?
did wear blue for my wedding, yes.
Yeah.
She's talking about, I want you to remember me like that.
Yeah, she looked beautiful that day.
Yeah, so she's coming in and acknowledging how she looked and saying, remember me that way. But, you know, there's something to do with either her not a, so strange. Um, I feel like I'm not able to verbalize or speak at the end of my life. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
She couldn't, she had a stroke, so you couldn't.
She couldn't verbalize. Okay, that's yeah, as long as you can understand that, because
6 months.
I just feel like I'm not able to verbalize what I want to. But you know, your mother is making me feel that what you said to her, she acknowledged what you said to her, and she wants to thank you for saying the words that you spoke, because it's very important that she was not able to tell you thank you and how appreciated she was, especially how you spoke to her. It's not just the things that you said to me, she says. She says, please tell my daughter that it's how she worded her words that made an impact at the end of my life, that was it was able for me to cross to the spirit side of life with peace and with grace.
My mother had a stroke and she couldn't speak for 6 months. And it was New Year's Eve and I had served Mass that night. And Father Kevin said to me, are you going to see Mom now? And I said, yes. He said, well, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to tell her it's okay to go. And that's what I told her. It wasn't easy.
Right.
But she died the next morning.
You gave her the peace and the grace to help her go. And for that, she thanks you.
That's what they told me.
And as she steps forward to me today and to you, to speak to you, she's got a lot of gratitude for you because you pulled that strength from within inside of yourself. And that's very, very important with your mom. So there's that message I need to get across, because she's got this, your mom is she really has, just kind of like I was speaking with your mother. Oh, you're not connected, right?
No.
All right, right. There's a strong matriarch with your mom.
Very strong.
You know, where she is, you know, I really get, when I get mother figures, I do get the matriarch. They give me that feeling. But with your mom, she really ruled the roast. Does that make sense?
She did.
She really did. And your mom's wanting to talk to me about, there must be china plates she needs to talk about that you have of hers. Is that right?
I have my
Yeah.
grandmother's clock up there. My mother gave me.
Oh,
It
okay.
was my grandmother's wedding gift.
Okay, so you got the clock, but I'm talking about the china plates.
China plates.
I need to mention
Remember
about the
do you have
plates.
I'm sure I
any
have some of
teapot?
them too.
A teapot?
I need to
I have
talk
teapot-
about.
I have teapots.
Oh, don't even. I was just gonna go there. Don't tell me too much information. I was gonna talk about the china, then I was gonna go into the tea, but because she kept, I saw that, but don't tell me just for credibility purposes, so I know that she's coming through. I want you to have the best experience. But there's something to do with definitely China. I need to mention that is left behind, and it's not so much as a significance, but it's just an acknowledgement of you having this. That's the feeling that she gives me. Now, more importantly, your mother's mentioning to me about a pair of earrings you have of hers. Is that right?
What?
Pair of earrings. Would you know about the pair of earrings that's left behind?
I don't really.
Okay, I feel like I'm pulling away a little bit because I have a woman that's here, and I heard her say talk about the earrings. So who can understand about the pair of earrings that you have of mom, grandma? There's something to do with earrings, to be specific. I need to talk about a pair of earrings would be significant, and jewelry was significant.
I'm
Yeah.
the one with the jewelry.
You're the one with the jewelry. Okay. Let me just talk to you for a moment, and then I'm gonna hold on. There's something to do with a pair of earrings that's left behind, but I also do need to talk about a red ruby ring that's left behind. Is that real? No.
No, must be somebody else.
Can somebody understand about a red ruby ring or cluster of rubies that I need to talk about?
I have a ruby ring
You have a ruby ring. Okay, but
that I bought myself.
no, I don't like
It's a
it.
cluster ring.
There has to be something to do with jewelry. Who wore the costume jewelry? The woman who wore the costume jewelry is here. Who would that be? Can anybody relate to that?
Grandma.
She wore costume jewelry?
Yes.
Any of the grandmothers?
Any of
did.
my grandmothers, yeah. Pick a
Because
grandmother.
I'm seeing a lot of rings, and I'm seeing a lot of jewelry placed on me. Look, my grandmother never wore jewelry. I mean, she passed away at 85. So
My aunt gave me a ton of like Peanuts jewelry, the cartoon,
right.
and
Hmm.
a lot of jewelry. I'd given some to Erin, or Rita to give to Erin and Amanda.
Yeah.
I had a lot.
Yeah, I don't. Are you guys are talking over there, but
I found costume jewelry after she passed, but she really didn't wear it.
she didn't wear it. All right, let me go just a bit more because I have this lady. And that's why I don't want to make it fit with you.
What does she look like?
Let me go.
There's your first clue.
Let me go with this. There's a lady that's stepping forward, and I'm getting her persona as, I'm not getting features specifically, but I'm getting her persona as being very she's very meticulous about the things in her home. So this was a homemaker. She really had to have her furniture a certain way. I do feel that she had doilies set up within her home. Can you relate to this information over here?
That's Aunt Nancy.
Yeah.
You can relate to this as an aunt. Okay,
She liked to have things a certain way in her house.
Okay, let me go a bit more. Would you also understand about her having 3 children?
Yes.
Yes.
It's you. There you go.
Okay, it's you.
You're up.
That's it. I have to say this. I have this lady here. She's wanting to reference the 3 children, but I also do need to talk about having things particular in her way. I am going to tell you that she was a bit tough on the children. Does that make sense?
When she needed to be.
Because there's a feeling that I get more of a tough love to her in the way that she comes. Can you relate to that? You can tell me no if you don't feel that, but I just feel a sense of this lady is giving me the sense of tough love in the way that she comes. I also got to talk about I don't know why I keep hearing the name John is with me. Who's John or Jonathan?
My brother's middle name.
Your brother's middle name is John. Now your brother's passed or
No,
here?
He's here.
He's here.
Is John an older man?
I do feel older gentleman.
My father-in-law was John.
Your father-in-law is John. Okay, I'm gonna come back to you, but I just wanna, this is what happens. A lot of times they come in and they overlap each other. So it's so because I have a John here, but I also have this lady here who wants to talk about her doilies, wants to talk about her how she has to have things in her home, and I also got to talk about that there must be. I want to put on a lot of makeup with her. Does that make sense?
No,
No.
no, she doesn't.
You can't relate to that piece.
No.
You wouldn't understand lipstick or eyeshadow or having that put on with this lady?
No.
Huh.
Just when she went like
Possibly
weddings.
my husband's step monster.
What are you, the spirit hog today? No, I'm joking. I'm
I
joking.
don't know.
I can't help it. I can't help it. It just comes through this way.
I know.
All right. I'm trying because I want to get to this lady. She's touching him, but then you got other people that are kind of like nudging in. It's the strongest energies. So let me just say this. Would you understand about this lady with how particular she was as being mom?
Yes.
Okay, right. All right. And would you understand, because I really want to get you a message from her, and, it's like she was always doing for other people. Does that make sense? She was
Yes.
always trying to help other people, because I
Always.
have her just
Yeah.
like come in and see, she was a people pleaser. That's how she was. She wanted to help and please everybody within the family, and she didn't take care of herself. Do you know that this woman never complained?
Yes.
She never once complained, your mother,
Never.
right? Okay. And she's so thankful for what I almost feel like now. Are you your sisters?
sisters.
Okay. I got to talk about you both were there when she passed. Is that correct?
Yes.
Because she's saying it's the love of the two. It's the love of my daughters that helped me go. And would you understand that Mom says, tell her that they were on the right-hand side of me, before I passed to the spirit world. So this is right before.
We were.
Yes, right? And I know that as you're on that side, I know that she shows me exactly what I see as holding of the hands, and then I know that I go to the spirit side of life. So I know that you would have been touching and holding her hand before she went. Is that real? Right? And I also do know that your mom, would you know about her having something with her blood or issues with her blood?
Probably.
Like
There's a lot-
there must have
there's a
been,
lot going on.
would you understand about sugar diabetes?
Yes, yes, I do.
Yeah.
Okay, because I keep seeing the sugar diabetes with this lady. To me, she's showing me that would be blood issue. But I also do feel that there's something to do with, she's saying, tell her that I'm able to eat now. I don't know what that means, but she's saying, please tell my daughters I'm able to eat and enjoy food now. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, because what does that mean to you?
She couldn't eat at all. She had a lot of fluid in
Fluid.
her abdomen.
Yeah.
so
Okay.
she-
But it lasted. But that would lasted a bit of time. It wasn't just at the end. Like it was. She was dealing with not being able to eat for quite a bit, right? So I know that the food was. Well, your mom loved food. That's another thing. She was right. Okay.
did.
She really enjoyed her food.
Yes.
And she's wanting to thank you for holding on to. There's actually a cookbook that was left behind. Do you remember that? What's the cookbook?
I don't know that there's a cookbook, but there's.
Are you the one that wrote the cookbook?
No, she doesn't cook at all.
Okay. Who wrote the cookbook? I need to acknowledge about something to do with, oh, wait a minute, where's the chocolate cake come in? Who made the chocolate cake for her? Or I know she wasn't supposed to have it, but there's something to do with chocolate cake or a chocolate cake recipe or that's coming in.
She liked her brownies. She loved her brownies. She loved chocolate cake, but
I don't want to make chocolate cake into brownies, but there is something to do with the chocolate cake is very significant in the way that it comes. Let me just say this. I know that you would have there's a gold ring of your mom's that you have. Is that real? Right? It's just a plain gold ring. And I know that when you touch this ring, I know that this is real. I know that she's with you. But it's also more than that. Your mom's also wanting to put on a scarf as well. Would you understand about having an old scarf of hers? Is that real? there's a scarf that I need to mention that I'm wrapping around as well. And I need to say it in the way that it comes. So if you can't relate to it now, just remember your mom's wrapping around a scarf. I also do need to mention that there must be either what is the playing cards as well come in? Do you know about the playing cards?
She liked to play solitaire on her phone. Yeah. There was always a deck of cards on the table.
There was always a deck.
When the kids came, she would bring them out.
Okay, because she's wanting to play the cards, so I know she's enjoying doing this as she comes in. There's something else I need to talk about. Would you understand about either recently with you? I'm sorry, what's your name? Patty. Would you understand, Patty, that you must have either recently been looking at either a vehicle or looking at a car recently? Is that right? Who's looking at the vehicle or the car connected to you?
My daughter's looking for a new car.
But recently?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like every day.
This is interesting. Because your mother's coming in, watching over the female who's looking for a new car, and that's why she's guiding me to you. So if it would be your daughter.
Her daughter just bought a new car.
Your daughter just bought a new car. All right, give me a moment. So you both got cars going on. Hold on. All right. I feel like I know your daughter just bought a new car, but was it in the last month? Mm-hmm. Within the last month. All right. Just bear with me. Your daughter's looking for a new one.
Yes.
Currently, and she's talking about it every day, pretty much.
Every day.
Right? Okay. Would you understand about either going into now? Did you go to the place with her? Did you go and look at a place?
She looks at everything online.
Online. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know about her either talking about she wants a particular car, but she's trying to decide on which color she wants to get? Mm-hmm. Is that real? Mm-hmm. Okay, that wasn't yours.
No.
Okay, so I know that I'm correct. I'm with you. Yes. That's why I know that your daughter did, and I have to see that's what separates the evidence. While they may be very similar, where both daughters are buying cars, but what really sticks out with the evidence that I know that I'm talking about you and your daughter is because I know that she's talking about the specific color of the car, right? Mm-hmm. So I know that your mother is stepping forward to watch over your daughter, talking about which color she wants to buy. I know that your daughter is your mom's around your daughter wanting to talk about the relationship that I need to mention around. Your grandma, her grandmother, your mom wants to is trying to help her with these decisions because I know that this relationship, and I'm just gonna say this. There's a very there's a lot of miscommunication going on where whoever she's with or whoever she's connected to, but I feel like that your mom's stepping forward, kind of like. I want to push her in the right direction, but I feel like she's not listening. Does that make sense?
Yeah. That's
Okay.
better.
All right.
That's my daughter.
Your mom. There's just a message, not just for the both of you, as you came today, to acknowledge the presence of you being there and helping her cross. But more importantly, it's really she wants to show how she's a part of the family. But she's bringing up the fact that your daughter is not going to listen to you. She's going to do what she wants. Your mother's saying you're not going to change her. And I know you know that, even though when you put your input in, your daughter has a way of blocking you out and just goes around it, right? But this is what your mother sees from the spirit side of life. She sees the ins and outs and how she, and you just kind of let it go. I know you love your daughter. You're there for her. Same thing with your mother. She wants the best for your daughter, but the relationship is a little bit hectic. I'm just going to say it in that way. And you know that, right? It's just a very hectic relationship. And I'm going to say, I always say what's need to be said. And I don't hold back on what they want me to say. So that relationship, while everybody has issues to work out, your daughter's relationship, there's a lot of communication and a lot of miscommunication, rather, going on. So I don't know if you would know this detail, and I don't want to get too personal with it, but there definitely is things that she should look over, and your mom is really helping guiding your daughter with that. Okay. I also do need to talk about where's the car accident that happened.
My son totaled my car last year.
Okay. So I know that I'm still with you. There's a car accident that happened. I'm telling you right now, it should have been worse than what it was. Your mother protected him in this.
She was here though. She was still here.
Where is the mother? There's a woman that was around him that protected him. If she was here, there's a woman that's on the other side that stopped this accident from happening. And that's the feeling that I get.
Well, his girlfriend in the car, her mother was passed at the time.
Do you know if she had brown hair?
Her mother?
Yes. You wouldn't know?
I don't know.
There was a woman that was very dear and very close to your son that stopped the car accident from happening, from the spirit side of life. So if your mother was alive, then there must have been somebody else there that's passed that was very dear and close. But I need to talk about that the accident should have been a lot worse than what it was. Does that make sense? Because it was really a bad accident. It was not something that, it wasn't a fender bender, that put it that way.
It totaled my car.
Yeah, so.
But it wasn't, he didn't hit anybody, he hit a guardrail.
Right, okay.
So.
But it should have been worse, and I know that he had somebody protecting him from the spirit side of life. So I got to bring that. So if that wasn't your mother because she was here, there was definitely, he had somebody watching over him. And I'm getting that connection. Because I know I'm still with you because I just heard talk about the accident. So if you can relate to that information and it was just a year ago, then that makes sense. If it's not your mother, obviously your mother was here. So give me a moment. What's with the month of August with your son?
When was the accident?
March.
What's with August? Would you understand? How about your mother? Is there a connection with August to your mother? There's an August connection that I need to talk about. Something to do with August 12th, around that date. I know this is something important with August. I'm just picking that up here. So I'm just going to say this because, your mom stepping forward, she's the strongest here. I'm going to tell you that. But also she's referencing on the people in your life, like your daughter. Now I want to talk about your daughter for a moment. Is she the one where's the medical field? Is somebody in the medical field? You're in the medical field? You're both in the medical field? Okay. Would you understand about either recently, like going for furthering your education or doing something different, like with the medical field, just recently?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm trying to, I'm just bouncing with the energy. So you're actually furthering or doing something different or trying to do something different in the medical field?
Not with education, but recently, yes, started working somewhere.
Okay. All right. Because there is a strong reference from somebody in the spirit world that's helping you with this. Where does there's a sister figure that's passed?
No, I don't have a sister.
Yeah, but not in the spirit world.
Where's a young female that died? Very unexpected. And I feel like this person passes. There's something to do with my head gets affected.
We don't really know how she died.
Was there somebody who didn't make it out of their 20s?
No.
Do you know who that would be? It's like right here. Is there a young female who didn't make it out of their 20s, passes unexpectedly? There's something to do with the head issue, or something affects the head. Either somebody hit their head, or it doesn't even have to be that, but there's something to do with the head issue. There's a young female. That's the feeling that I get. you know who that would be?
Didn't she pass?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, this is somebody in the spirit world. Do you know somebody that had a head issue that was alive? Because you're saying past. I feel this person's in this. No, I don't.
Me.
Yeah, I don't like it. There's a young female in the spirit world that's here, that passes something of the head, something of the brain or the head area that I keep seeing that's coming in, and that's the feeling that I get. So I'm just gonna say it, and I don't want to keep on going with the energy, but I'm just gonna say in the way that it comes because this is where I'm getting. And I'm just gonna kind of clear the energy. So if you can relate to this later on, you could just tell me. I'll see if I can connect. But I just have this young female that's coming in, and she's referencing a younger male that has been around her as well. So nobody can take that information. No. Okay. Let me see what else I can get here. I also feel, and I'm gonna come back to you guys. I'm sorry for a moment because I kind of cut you short for a moment with the messages. Well, because I was getting shifting over here, and I talked about you, and now I'm going back to you. Can I say this, that first of all, your mother is, I referenced your daughter, but I need to reference your daughter for a moment. Would you understand about the baby coming into the picture? Because I'm gonna talk about a baby that's gonna be coming into the picture, and your mother's wanting to talk about this from the spirit side of life. Are they trying to have a baby?
My niece is pregnant.
Your niece is pregnant. Do you know if it's a boy? Because I just saw a baby
It is a
boy. Okay, I just see a boy because your mother on the other side is holding the baby boy.
And she was just told like 2 days before she passed that she was pregnant.
Ah, see that?
So she knew.
Yeah, so your mother knew. So she needs to come through with that message to talk about him holding the baby boy in the spirit world before he's born, and he needs to say that. Okay, it's important that I bring that through. See, your mom's so much a part of your life, even though that she's gone out of the physical. I also do need to talk about would you understand about your mother wearing brooches? She didn't wear brooches. Is that no? Okay. Where's the woman here who wore the brooches on the patches on her clothes?
Like the pins?
Yeah, like a brooch. I'm seeing a brooch.
Constantly. She was on her dresses. The dress collars.
Did she have really white hair?
Yeah.
Blonde, yeah, very
Well,
blonde.
then
She
they
white.
talk
Okay.
over him on top.
Let me go. Sorry that we're getting the microphone over here. But there's something to do with. I have a woman here who's wearing the brooches, and she's stepping forward. And who would be who's Dolores or Dolores? Who's
That's
that?
Uncle Johnny's sister, isn't it?
No, Dolores would be
Or D?
her
That's my
sister.
sister.
That's your sister. Okay. Dolores, because I heard I'm Dolores. I'm here. I don't. This is what I'm picking up.
Or Dolores was Todd's godmother.
Let me just say this. Would you understand about your sister either having there must have been either I don't know why I'm being shown this, but there's either something to do with her hands or not being able to grab or move her hands.
Yeah, she had rheumatoid arthritis in her fingers very badly.
Okay, all right, because I have Dolores here. I have your sister Dolores. She's talking about her hands. I know that there's a reason why she's come. She's trying to talk to me about talking about there's necklaces that were left behind of hers. Do you know about that?
No.
Older necklaces, but it's more than that. There's either gold necklaces or crystals.
There's my mother's 21st birthday necklace is left behind, but
Does it have 3 droplets on it? Is there 3 little boop boop
it's
boop?
a diamond necklace.
That's
And
wait,
What can you what do you what can
the
you?
necklace you're looking for?
Yes.
Okay. It's
Okay, it's you. That's
You know that the three stones. It's called the
Past,
past, present, and
future.
future.
Right.
The diamond necklace of my mother's.
Okay. All right. Because there's this that comes in, and I need to talk about this. And you're looking for this right now,
Yes.
as we speak.
Yes, Babs, give it up.
Okay. Because I need to talk about that. See, it's interesting because I knew I was shifting. I kept coming to you. And then it shifted and it went this way. So let me just see. Let me go with this. I need to talk about this necklace. I know this is significant. I do know that it's still within her belongings. I will tell you that. I need to look in the drawer.
You still don't believe, Pat? Are you good now? Do you know which drawer?
Which drawer?
Yes.
Is
Yes.
this the dragon my father
Yes,
had
I know
too?
which drawer.
He knows
Uh,
which drawer.
I'm going to tell you. So would you understand about that if I walk into the room and I go to the right-hand corner, is that where you would have the dresser where the drawers are? The right hand?
Into the bedroom.
Into the room, yes. And you go to the right side. Is that where the dresser, where the drawers would be? Correct? And I know that if I look in the drawers, I want to go to the left-hand side. I need to go to the left-hand side. So if I'm looking at the drawers, I'd go to the left-hand side and I need to open up the drawer there. Do you know about that? That's where I want to open. That's where I want to go. And I know that I would want to go to the second drawer. I would want to go to the second, not the first, not the last, but I know the second drawer would have things and belongings. Is that real for you? Because I need to pull that in there. I know that the belongings would be in there. Look through this again because you're missing something. You're missing something. I'm really telling you that it's there. This necklace is there. I know you thought that you lost it, and it's still within the belongings. So you really need to go through it again. Even if you emptied out of it, you really take the drawer out. It's somewhere there. You're gonna find this necklace that she's bringing in. So what was the significance with this necklace here?
That was her favorite necklace my father gave her, and she wore it all the time.
Would you know about having a photograph of her outside wearing this necklace, not inside a house, but outside?
Oh my God, yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I could show you.
Okay. You could show me the picture. Oh, beautiful. Because she's talking to me about I wore this necklace outside, and I'm outside, and I know that you would know this here. And I also do know that. Would you know about your mom wearing either sunglasses? Right? Because she's putting sunglasses. I know that I would also have a photograph of her wearing sunglasses as well. She wants you to remember her like that. You know, just like how your mother wanted to remember with the blue dress. Your mother wants you to remember her with the sunglasses and how she looked. She had a bit of a your mom was like a jokester in a way. Does that make sense? She likes to joke around and bust your chops.
Oh yeah.
She likes to bust chops, and you know I gotta be careful of how I word it because you know everybody has different senses of humor, but her sense of humor, she really likes to bust your chops, but behind the scenes she would make comments, and she thought she was funny, so that's the feeling that I'm getting with her, you know. And I also got to say, your mom needs to tell you that she's able to see now. She's able to see. She was not able, either something to do with her eyes or something to do with her eyesight was very.
Her eyes were very puffy.
Yeah.
At the end.
She couldn't.
She couldn't, yeah, because she's wanting to tell you that I'm able to see. I'm able to open my eyes and see now. And I could see everything that's going on within your life. Now, I got to also talk about you for a moment. You need to give yourself enough credit for what you do. I know you tend to hold a lot of your emotions in, and this is coming from Mom. You hold a lot of your emotions in, and you try to be the strong person for the family. And your mom has seen you come. First of all, you're stronger than what you know. You've been through a lot of things in your life, specifically with relationships, okay? And she's verbalizing with you over you because she's wanting to talk about how strong you are. And your mom has seen you within the last year start to get that strength from within inside of yourself to start. It's more of seeing things for what they are rather than you're always trying to just change things and not go with the, you tend to hone in on it and internalize it, and you're now starting to open yourself up to more of the emotional side. And your mom has, and I know that you've had conversations with your mother about specifically with your relationships and how you handle things. And I know that you you have a very stubborn personality where you didn't want to listen to mom sometimes. So that's where she's coming. But look, your mom loves you very much, and I know that it's something that you need to hear. I mean, your mom loves you as well, but I just need to give this message to you specifically, Patty, because I know that you've struggled. You've really struggled with trying to come to terms with your own strength and your own inner strength. And your mom, since she's gone, and I know that it hasn't been many, many years, but she's seen the strength that you've had within this last year to start to speak out in a different way. So you always had a way of doing things where you didn't look at the full picture of things, and you had a really hard time. And I feel like it was just an emotional thing. It was just too hard for you to grasp, whether you're dealing with issues with your daughter or you're dealing with things within the family. You really, it's almost like you had no patience for it. And it was just like, okay, we're just going to do this, 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 and this. And that's the plan. And that's what we're doing. And, right. And you had this strong persona to you. But now it seems like since your mom has passed, you're starting to realize things for what they are, and you're starting to look at the bigger picture and saying, okay, let me take a step back and look at the situation. You're starting to structure your emotional side a little different since mom's passing, and your mom has been seeing that from the spirit side of life, and she's very proud of you because she goes, oh, my daughter, she if I tried to tell her something, she wouldn't listen to me. She would just want to do it her way. And that's how she is.
She's a little shit when she's younger.
Does that make sense?
Yes, very
Um,
much so.
and I also have to talk about that that your mother's wanting to talk to me about the tattoo that was done in memory. But I need to talk about this in a way where it's not just any tattoo. She's wanting to talk to me about that there's two tattoos, but there's three tattoos. There's something to do with three. So I know that two was done, and I know that a third one is either in the process or going to be getting made. Is that real for you?
I'm going next Friday for a tattoo in memory of my mom.
You're going next
There's
Friday for a tattoo.
Four of us
There's
going.
4 of us going
and
for her.
One of us is like this.
Okay, because she's mentioning, but you understand about three?
Well,
So you got one,
I got
two.
I got one on each ankle. I got for my dogs, love you more.
Okay, well
This is my kids.
that's your dog. Okay, but
This is
about your mom. So there's three tattoos that are going to be done in memory of your mom. So you're getting one.
I'm getting one. My daughter,
Your
her
daughter-
daughter, and she's on the fence.
And you're
So
on the
there's
fence.
3 of
I
us.
gotta. So there's
Definite 3 of us.
so definitely three.
Definitely 3.
I have a feeling that you're not going to wind up doing it. I have a feeling that you're not going to do it.
I'm with you.
But she is mentioning that she's saying talk about the 3 tattoos that's going to be being done. And she's telling me to talk about either something to do with either. I'm seeing the birds as well.
Her nest.
Oh.
The nest is back at their house.
Okay.
And it's every. Sorry.
Okay. All right. I got to say that there's birds, and she's saying, reference to birds, I'm sending you the birds. I'm sending the birds. Tell her that that's me to let you know that I'm around you. It's very important.
He said it. He
Yeah,
said it.
they're there.
They're there.
They have doves. They have a bow window, and up on top of it, the doves come every year. And then the wind blows the nest away. They try to rebuild it, and then they give up and they leave. But this year, they're staying. There's like all kinds
There's
of
straw
Oh.
everywhere.
hanging in front
I
of
was
the
just
window.
there on Tuesday, and I'm saying to my father, "What is all that?" He said, "That's the doves.
Yeah,
They came back."
it's your
He
mom.
said they came back for mom.
It's your mom. Yeah, it's your mom saying that because she just told me talk about the birds. I'm sending you the birds.
Yeah.
So isn't that beautiful? She's got this way about her. Your mom has there's a beautiful soul within your mom,
Oh,
and
yeah.
she really is. And when I say this, she's got a very sensitive part of her, and she was always. I think that's another reason why she might have. Even within the family, she might have felt like she got taken advantage of on an emotional level, because I feel like she was always trying to do for people. See, but this is where a lot of your strength came from, because you've watched your mom in that aspect, and so you started to change and shift your awareness to be like, okay, I'm not going to be that way. And I feel like it's more of a subconscious thing. And there's one other thing I need to mention to you about. Where is the locket come in?
Well, it's not a locket. It's a pendant.
No, it's got to be a locket. It's got to be a locket or something where I put in. Where I need to talk about. I have. Oh, wait a minute. Where is the thumbprint come in? Who got the thumbprint? The thumbprint necklace. Where's the thumbprint necklace? Is there somebody making a thumbprint?
She had, that charm that she had was just, she had a charm with a bunch of stones in it.
Do you know anything about thumbprint? Anybody getting a necklace done for like a thumbprint in memory, or what's with the thumbprint? All right, I want to ask one of your daughters. So if you could ask one of your daughters about the thumbprint, but this is important as somebody who's getting a thumbprint in memory of me. Nobody can understand that right now. All right, I feel like this is something that's going to wind up happening, and you'll be able to validate it later on. So we're still in the process of this.
Okay.
That's still happening, but there's a thumbprint that is significant. But I'm seeing it in a locket, and that's why when you said pendant, it didn't feel right to me energetically when I connect to that. So I know that there's that's going to be being done in memory of me, and I also do need to mention to you about the pennies as well. Your mom's leaving you pennies on the ground. Okay.
That's why I'm finding them.
I'm sorry?
Finding them everywhere.
Yeah,
Everywhere.
you're
At
finding
work,
them
I'm
everywhere.
finding them.
Yeah, your
It's
mom's
the
leaving you
weirdest
pennies.
thing.
She's
Not
saying
giving me pennies.
she. That's why I kept talking to you.
I'm finding them everywhere. I'm finding them in my backyard. I'm finding them everywhere.
That's why
And I'm
she's
just like-
leaving them.
And I'm leaving them there because I'm like, I'm not picking these up. This is weird.
Right. I know. It's your mother. She's leaving you the
I
pennies.
haven't even told my kids. I'm like, why
She
are
didn't
they?
tell me.
No, I
Yeah.
didn't say anything to anybody.
Put them in a container.
But I
and
keep
they-
finding these pennies.
Yeah, she's wanting to talk about she's leaving the pennies around. And there's something to do with either she's saying she's moving the prayer card. I got to say that. She's saying, tell her I'm moving the prayer card. I need to get that message to my daughter.
Does she move
That's
her
me.
credit card?
She's
I
saying
have
I'm
it
moving.
at work and I have it up on top of my desk. And I walked in the morning and it's saying, who the heck is touching my mom's card?
Yeah, your mom is moving it, saying that she's around you. She's saying, hello, I'm here.
All right, Mom.
He's messing with you.
Yeah,
Jeez.
you understand
But it's
about
weird
that.
'cause it happened like 2 or 3 times, and I said, somebody keeps touching my desk, and nobody goes there.
Yeah,
I don't like
It's your
when
mom.
people touch
She
my
works by
desk.
herself.
He's messing with the doubter.
I'm by
It's your mom.
myself. It's my boss in her room and me in mine, and she doesn't go near my stuff.
Yep, it's your mother. She's wanting to let you know that she's moving the prayer card. That's her. And would you understand about this is so very strange, and I want to talk to you. You're getting like a lot of the messages. I feel like this is very much needed. Your mom's coming through saying this. This is going to be very strange, and I'm going to ask you this question because you have to be waking up in the middle of the night. You're not sleeping well. Is that correct? First of all. Okay, and your mom's saying that you must wake up around, she's saying, talk to me about my daughter waking up around either 2 o'clock or 2:30, and you wake up around the 2 o'clock-ish specifically. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Your mom's saying that she's there while you're waking up, and this is so strange. Are you... Now... is there 2 floors in your home?
No.
There's not. Why do I feel like why do I feel like that somebody's either walking upstairs or up and down stairs? Is there any type of if you're on a one floor, is there any stairs like anywhere?
I wake up every night that time usually because my dog has to go out and he has to go down the stairs into the backyard, but that's the only stairs.
This is strange because your mom is around you when you wake up around that time, and I know that she's saying she keeps putting lights on. I don't know what that means. She's saying, please tell my daughter I'm putting the lights on. I don't know what that means to you, but I have to say that I'm putting the light on, and I just got to relay that message. Do you know what that means?
Thank God, no.
All right.
'Cause that would totally freak
I'm
me
just
out.
letting you know.
I have night lights on everywhere, but
I'm letting you know that your mom is going to be putting the light on, and just letting you know that she's there. And don't freak out. She's saying, I just want to let you know that I'm there. It's just another validation, because she's saying, my daughter, she tries to push this out. She doesn't want to think about it. She goes, I know that she loves me very much, but she's saying, please, honey, I need you to understand that I'm putting the light on. I'm trying to get to you to let you know that I'm here and I'm still a part of your life. And she's been trying really, really hard. She's been trying really, really hard, and she's saying, my daughter, she just pushes it out, and she doesn't want to think about it. But your mom's really coming through and trying to push this on you and saying, look, I need to tell my daughter and get to my daughter to say that I'm okay. I'm watching over her. I'm a part of her life. It's very important. She needs to hear this. You need to hear this, okay? Because I know that within the last almost year or so, I know it's been you've pushed down all of your emotions, and you haven't allowed yourself to grieve in the proper way. And your mom says that she needs you to start to grieve and know that it's not just her that she's gone. She's not gone. She's out of the physical body, but she needs to know that I'm still a part of my daughter's life, and she loves you so much, and she knows that everything that you've been very strong. You've been very, very strong, and you need to understand the strength within inside of yourself, because I don't even think you realize. You really don't. You don't realize how strong you have become, and you don't even realize how strong you are, because you've tend to push down the emotions. And I said this to you before, but this is a message that needs to be relayed, especially from your mom, because your mom has that sensitive side. Your mom has that grounding side to her. Your mom has that very loving and soft side to her, and she's really portraying that to you specifically. She's saying, you can let your guard down. You can relax. I'm okay, she says. And I need to get that message across to you. I'm sorry?
no,
I asked if she was listening.
Yeah, it's important. This is very important that I get this message across to you, because you've been thinking about this, and you've been it's been on your mind for quite some time. So with that, I'm gonna leave you with that as I draw my energy back. But she's still there. And aren't you the one that's either talking about either buying a property? Is that right? Because she says that you're not, right?
No.
Okay, it's
I'm renting, so
you're
if I
renting,
ever
but
could afford it,
you're going to be buying a property or moving, and it's going to be more around the fall time, something to do with fall, or I'm seeing like September, October coming around that time. So I don't know when your lease is up. I don't know when that's going to be starting to come over, but there's something to do with either September or October where your mom's watching you moving into a different place, a new place. It's going to be very positive for you. And I just got to say this, and your mom won't let me go. What is with either the hair clips that you have? What's with the hair clips or the hair things of your mother's? Is there something to do that she clipped in her hair or put in her hair that you would have specifically with mom? What does that mean? Can you relate to that?
No.
Tell me no. Okay. I think I'm pulling her back from you. Where is the lady who had clips in her hair? Is that you?
My father's sister, she wore a piece. I never even seen her, I think once, because I used to sleep at her house
Right.
with my cousin. I was close to my cousin. I think I saw her once without it, but she used to every morning put
The
piece.
Okay, because I just feel like I have this lady here who's putting clips in my hair and wanting to talk to me about having them in my hair. So I'm going, okay, and who's Margaret? Where's the Margaret come in? I have a Margaret.
I had an Aunt Margaret.
You had an Aunt Margaret.
she's-
Okay. Was she the one who had the breast cancer? Your Aunt Margaret? Did she have breast cancer?
I don't think so.
Or something to do with the cancer of it's either the breast or the lungs. It's either lung or breast. When I get the chest, it's either you
I honestly, I don't remember. I mean,
you don't
my
know.
sister
Okay,
might, but-
okay, I'm just getting Margaret. I'm just kind of crossing,
Marie.
but I don't want to make Margaret into Marie. But you can understand about the hair. These things that are being clipped in the hair, and would you understand about her either was she the one who was always in making the recipes, cooking the recipes?
No.
Was that Margaret? No.
No.
I'm getting a reference of cooking as well. This is so
I
strange.
remember her cooking.
Okay. I'm getting the cooking as well that comes in, but I have this lady who's clipping things in my hair, and this is a hello from her. I don't really feel there's a major message. So it's just and did you didn't really know her, you said, right?
Oh no, I was very close to her, and I'm very close with my cousin, her daughter, and I've told my cousin, like, I have more memories of things we did together.
Oh,
I was
okay.
very close with her, yeah.
I don't know, it's so strange. Give me a
That's
moment.
my father's sister.
Would you understand about her it's almost as if she's wanting to you don't understand about the cooking. That wouldn't be her, right?
We're not cooking.
Huh.
Oh, she just said she liked to cook. My Aunt Margaret.
Your Aunt Margaret Margaret cooked a lot, like she was
Yeah, because they were always having their friends over and stuff like that.
But I don't know if she's.
okay.
dead.
Margaret is here and she's cooking. She's doing a lot of cooking. She's here. Okay, I just
My Aunt Dolly's name is Margaret, and she's always cooking. Always.
you,
Like big, massive.
okay. Massive things.
Like for too many people.
Okay. Was there 2 children connected to Margaret?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. That's where the Margaret is.
But I don't know if she's alive or.
You don't.
Passed.
Okay, you don't know if
Her
she's.
husband I know is gone.
Okay. All right. Just give me a moment because there's a reason that's coming. It's funny because I'm thinking in my mind. I was trying. I wanted to come to you, but I was just kept getting pushed over in this aspect of the way.
Should I Google her?
Give me a moment.
Should I Google the
Give me a
Aunt
moment.
Dolly?
Give me a moment. I do feel Margaret. I don't know, but I just feel
Her husband was
Her
amazing.
husband-
I loved him.
where would you understand about where is the Navy connection? Is there a
He was
Navy?
in the military. I don't know what.
You don't know what branch?
No.
Okay.
I think him and his brother both. I think they were in World War II.
Okay. Oh, interesting. Because I'm seeing there's a Navy connection. I'm seeing, or I'm on a.
Or
I'm
one of
actually
those-
on
the
a.
one
I'm on a
after.
boat. So.
Yeah, I
And
don't
I'm
know.
seeing those little caps, so that's why I'm referencing to Navy. So this was an aunt of yours,
Yeah, so it was my mother's cousin.
your mother's cousin.
But I
Okay.
used to go visit her. I've seen her more than my mother has.
Oh, okay, interesting. All right, and she was always cooking a lot.
Always.
Always. Okay, right. Beautiful.
For other people, trays of food, continually.
Okay, all right. Would you understand about? Let me just see this. This is very interesting. Would you be able to relate to either a Rosie or the name Rose?
My grandmother, her great grandmother,
Oh, okay, all right.
my grandmother.
I'm gonna say because
And wait, I have an Aunt Rosie too.
you have an Aunt Rosie. Okay, who was the one who had the curlers in her hair? Was that Rosie or Rose?
That'd be both of them.
That would be both of them. And who would also have who would have either wore it's almost as if they wore either more collared shirts. Do you know about either wearing like a nice collared shirt or a nice buttoned up shirt at times? Do you know about that? You
Of
can
the
tell me
Rosies?
no.
Of the
Yeah,
Rosies?
the Rosies. Would you be able to relate to that? Because that's
Yes, the house coats with the buttons.
Did they have-
The buttons.
Did it have a collar? Did it have
I
like
don't
a?
know, some did, I would imagine some did.
'Cause
They
I'm
had
just-
every style.
Okay, because I just have her.
I remember her having like a.
She's very nicely dressed. So could you relate to that? Her.
That was more Aunt Rosie. Aunt Rosie was always going to church.
My
and
other
stuff.
Oh,
teenager.
Okay, because I'm getting this lady Rose. I'm getting nicely dressed. I have her coming in, but I also got to talk about her either. It's so strange because I got Margaret, but I got to tell you, I really feel like Margaret's passed. I have to say this.
It wouldn't shock me. She's
Because I hate to be the bearer of bad news with that, but I just feel as I who's coming through and I'm cooking and I don't like to bring up cooking because I don't like to bring up cigarettes or smoking. I try to stay away from that unless they really are showing me that because that's what a lot of people did back years ago. So I don't want to give you general information. I really want to go with the character and really. But I do know that the food was very important to her,
Yes.
and I also do know that would you be aware of her living near a body of water or being by a body of water that would have been walking distance, and I'm seeing something to do with either being shown by an ocean. Would you have memories of her either going to an ocean or being near an ocean? And I don't want to go with a lake. No, you can't relate to that.
Rose went to Atlantic City a lot.
Grandma Rose always was in Atlantic City, and the Lavalette, the beach, the
Lavalette.
Lavalette.
Interesting. Okay, because there's that's wanting to come through. I also do need to mention with this woman Margaret. Now you were close to her.
Yeah.
Okay.
We were, and then she kind of lost her marbles and.
Okay, but for some years
Yes.
you were close.
Yes.
Okay, because there's a sense about her that she's referencing with you, and I just got to say that you must have you must have an old recipe of hers. Is that real? Is that right?
No, I have Grandma Rose's
Recipe.
recipes. The
Okay.
pistachio pudding cake.
Okay. So I'm getting and is your grandmother Rose? Is that the one that wore the coats?
The house coats, yes.
The house coats.
The house
Okay.
dresses, yes.
All right, because I have her coming in as well. That's why they're both coming through together. So I do feel that she would have passed before her, this woman Rosie.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, she would have passed before her because she's saying that she met me in the spirit side of life. Rosie was there to greet her to the spirit side of life, the one with the coats.
To greet my Aunt Dolly?
Right.
There's opposite
Right.
sides.
Yeah,
They never
that
even
don't
knew
matter.
each other. That doesn't make
That's-
sense.
Doesn't matter because a lot of times the family, even if they didn't meet, family, we come together in soul family groups. So your mother and your father and the family, we are all here for certain the people in our lives. We've had them in our lives many times. So even if they didn't meet each other, your family units do come together, and that's why I always say we never die alone. Even if we don't have family, even if we don't have friends, you have the connections on the other side. But I do feel that your family are coexisting on the other side from both sides. So they see a little bit of a different picture on the other side. It's the feeling that I get. I got to talk about with this woman, Margaret. I got to mention to you that there must be either, I don't know why I'm being shown this, but why is she talking to me about memories of either, and I know we're getting into Easter, but I know that I'm talking about either going to her place for the Easter, and there's something to do with either statues, old statues that she would have had. This woman, Margaret. Do you know about the old statues? Would you
I think
not?
she had some in her backyard, honestly.
Would you
They were
understand
like
about the old
religious ones.
dolls? There's got to be old collectible dolls because she's saying talk about the dolls. Do you know about that?
Chuchi is the one that had that doll.
Would you understand that?
Club for Clara,
Yeah.
which I have Club for Clara.
Because there's something to do with dolls or old collectible dolls with Margaret. Would you be aware of that?
No, I don't know.
You wouldn't be aware of that. Okay, let me just say that I need to mention that she's just kind of touching base and coming in. I got to also talk about the name Frank. Can anybody understand that? You can't take Frank, right? Who's Frank? Do you know who Frank would be?
Yeah, possibly.
Okay, let me get over to you because I need to mention Frank. I need to talk about that he's here. He's making himself known. And this man, I don't feel that he has. I feel like his hair is brushed back as well. So this man Frank here. Can you relate to that?
Frank was married to my husband's aunt, Anna.
Okay, and did you know him?
A little bit.
A little bit, okay. Would you understand about him passing from the congestive heart failure?
I'm not sure.
You wouldn't be sure because I'm getting the heart problem, and I feel like I'm here and then I'm gone, in a quick passing as he goes. And would you also understand the man who would have either worked on automobiles or would have worked with mechanics? You're saying yes. You understand who I'm talking about?
My father was a mechanic.
Your father was a mechanic.
Uncle Mike.
Uncle Nick.
There was
My
also
brother-in-law
a
was
Frank married to Todd's other aunt, Rose. Remember the Rosie, the one that lived upstairs, Rosie and Frank?
So wait, your father was a mechanic?
His brother-in-law was Frank Pearson.
His brother-in-law was Frank. So hold on for a moment. Let me just, because see, when I get it, it comes in very quickly. So I have a gentleman here who worked with in the auto mechanic industry. I also do feel that as he comes in, there's something to do with either he's got a child that didn't make it here physically. So there was a child that passed that he's got. So where's the miscarriage come in?
I didn't know him that well.
Do you know about the This is your father. Do you know about the miscarried baby?
Not sure.
Now your father was there two boys in that family there?
Only one.
One. Huh. Because there's a second boy that I need to talk about. You wouldn't know about a miscarriage on that side of the family, would you? No. Because I'm getting this sense of I have the baby with me, but it almost seems like a sibling. So I don't know.
He had a sister that died young, but not a miscarriage.
He had a sister that died young. Okay. I'm gonna say this. I feel, and I know you mentioned this before about a young child who passed. And I gotta talk about that. I do feel a younger child that's stepping forward, and I'm switching my awareness to feel this. Would you understand about either? I feel very much either my my throat or I can't breathe connected to the passing. Does that? You could just don't tell me how, but does that make sense to you? Connected to the.
No.
You're saying it could be possible. You're saying
talking
no.
about the young child who passed.
The 4-year-old, you
The
said.
4-year-old, how he
Passed. Don't tell me how.
Right.
Don't
just
tell
that
me how, but
there would be a strong possibility he wouldn't
but
be able to breathe.
there's something to do with the throat area that I get. Okay? And I have to talk about this because it's very important that I don't know how I'm going to say this. I just feel like there's a strong there's a lot of questions still connected to this passing of this young child. Mm-hmm. So we know what we have evidence and details and things that happened, but there's still things that are unresolved connected to this. I know you said this child was murdered, but I do know that there's something to do with issues, with questions of, well, things don't make sense still. Is that right?
Could be,
Is
yes.
that correct?
Mhm.
Because there is a sense here, I feel that there's something to do with my breathing, but I also feel that it's almost as if I smell like a sulfur smell. So that with connected with this child's passing, so there's definitely a sulfury smell to it. Does that make sense? Don't tell me how this child passed, but do
Very
you?
possible.
Right,
Yeah.
okay. But I'm smelling a sulfur smell with this child, but I also want to, I don't want to bring up the last times of this child's life, but I want to talk about that there must be I don't know, it's so strange. There must be an old church that I need to go to, and I know that I would go to this church after this child passes. But there's more than that. There's something to do with the old coins that would have either. What does that mean?
He had, when he passed, he had pennies. So his mother gave each one of his cousins pennies to put in their shoe on the day that they were married.
Oh,
You
interesting.
know, it's good luck, you know.
Right. Okay. Wow. That's okay. That's interesting. But would you understand about connected with this young boy? So, wait. So you're saying that the coins, this mother of the child did that?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying? Um, this is interesting because I am, and would you know if there's a connection to a church, an old church, right? Because there's that. I'm just being shown that as well. I gotta talk about with this because I just keep getting this young boy coming in, and I feel his presence. I feel him here. He's very particular about what they did with my shoe. What they did with my shoe. Do you know about what they did with this little boy's shoe?
Yeah. When he was hit by the car, his body flung, and the shoe came down, and the person handed that shoe to my sister.
Okay, all right. Because the shoe is very important, but I know that there was something that was done with my shoe, memory-wise. There was something that was created with my shoe.
Yeah, at that time, there was this elderly priest came along from nowhere, and he stayed with them until he put them on the plane and sent them back home.
Interesting. Okay.
The
The
shoe?
old church.
But where's the shoe?
Where's the
What was
shoe?
done with the shoe?
Aunt Mary Jane still had it.
She still had it. Okay. There's something that was, and I know you might not be able to validate it 100%, but something was created with that shoe after that young.
She made kind of like a shrine out of it, you know.
Okay, all right. Because I don't feel like it was just left. You know, some people might just put it in a box and keep it safe. I just feel like something was created, and that young boy's making me feel that as I come in with that. And I also got to talk about. He said, "Thank you for holding on to my jacket," because there was a jacket that was left behind of this little boy's. Okay, and I feel this as this child comes in here. So know that this child's safe and at peace on the other side, and he was out of his physical body. I got to tell you that he came right out of his physical body instantly. It was very quick, and he didn't feel anything. But I just got to talk about why am I being shown this? There must be also connections with the mother of this child. Now, how are you connected to this child?
My sister.
This is your sister's.
And he was her godchild.
My sister's son, and he was my godson.
Your godson, okay. Would you understand about connections to Florida with your sister?
Yes, that's where it happened.
Okay, that's where it happened. Okay. Okay, because when I connect to the child, he brings me to Florida.
Wow.
Okay, and I do feel that. I'm sorry.
He's gone a long time.
Yeah, that's where I'm getting. And would you understand about this actually being? I feel like I, 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 I feel like it's like wet around where when it happened.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Was it raining out? Would you know if it was
It
raining?
started to rain after it, yes.
Okay, because I feel that there's precipitation around, and I know that he's saying there was a bend in the road. There was a bend in the road. So when this happened, I feel like I'm coming, I don't feel this is a straightaway. I feel like I want to be coming around either a bend or a curve, or there's something that of this nature. Is that real? Do you know about that?
I don't know. It happened in front of the Millie Potcher, Millie,
Well, it happened in front of their motel.
in Miami, Florida, right in front of the hotel.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I feel like I want to be coming around a corner as well here as that happens. And I also do need to talk about, he's saying, talk about Michael. Who's Michael?
I have a brother, Michael, but his name was Kevin Michael.
Kevin Michael. But did they call him Michael?
No, my brother is Michael.
Who's Mickey? Mickey. Was somebody called Mickey?
No.
Who is that? What's that name?
Nikki. No, Mickey.
Nikki. Who's Nikki?
Uncle Nick.
Uncle Nick. Oh, shit.
Your Uncle Nicky. Was he the one who was always was he why is he doing, did he do coin tricks with his hands? Or did he do something, roll like a quarter in between his fingers, or was he doing something?
The first time and the last time that Erin met him, he had lost the leg, and he was sitting over in the chair, and we went to go visit him to show him Erin,
Yeah.
and she was of walking age, and he had $100 bill, and he was like tormenting her with it. Come on, get it, because he had this voice. He did
Yeah.
have a voice.
Let me get the microphone over to you for a moment, because
And he kept like playing with the $100 bill, trying to get her to come take it.
oh,
And
okay.
she wouldn't go because he was a little scary looking.
Right.
It
Was
the
he
voice.
was
The voice alone.
this gentleman Nicky, did he wear like suits? Did he wear sports jackets? Was he dapper? Did he dress very dapper?
No.
No. That's interesting. Okay, let me ask you something. Would you understand about why would he be rolling dice? He's throwing dice at me.
I think they all used to like play cards and dice and stuff. You
What
know.
else you gonna do
Okay.
in jail?
He had
Yeah.
Also,
yeah.
he went to jail for a little bit, so
I
maybe
think
he was
so.
rolling some dice in there.
Yeah, I just feel like I want to roll the
bucket
dice.
Gamble?
Yeah,
He was in trouble, but that was never really discussed.
Okay, all right, because there's definitely. See, I get this. I'm just going to tell you the persona that I give you. He seems to be a bit of a wise guy.
Yes.
He's a wise guy. He comes across as such. He has this wittiness about him, and
He always
I
knew
just
he was
feel
there.
like. What's that?
He made it a point to know he was there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, but I do feel, and I know you said about the $100 bill, but I know if you would have a think, he did something with quarters.
Yeah, I'd have to ask my husband about that.
Okay.
'Cause when I came into the picture, we were like 17, 18,
A little bit.
But I just remember him playing with the $100 bill, and I had to tell her, it's okay to go get it. And then she waddled over, took the money, and ran back.
Yes. Okay. All right. Because I just got to say, he used to put quarters between his fingers and would try to do
Okay.
tricks. But he was always trying to be a jokester and trickster.
Yeah, always
Like he
was-
likes to
was a
play
wise
tricks.
guy.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I'm also getting, actually, now, your father's cross, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you understand about him? Because I just heard Dad here. He's eating butterscotch candies.
Yep.
Would that be your dad?
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Little butterscotch
'Cause
rolling things.
I could taste the butterscotch as it comes in.
Yeah.
And see, this is his way of acknowledging. See, he's got your father. He's
Last time he came through with his Rolaids.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. Well, now he's eating the butterscotch, but he always had these butterscotch candies that he would like to eat.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yep.
So, you see this again, your father's way of acknowledging he's here, he's stepping forward. He's also wanting to talk to me about, would you understand about your dad wearing hats? Wearing the hats.
Oh, yeah. When I was little.
Yeah.
When you were
There
little?
is-
Because he's wearing
Yeah.
he's wearing the hats. And see, he's shown me when he was younger. He's bringing me back to when he was younger.
Yeah.
And I also do know that I would see him with. There must have been a photograph of your dad wearing I'm seeing either an old sports jacket, but I just see it's almost like a pattern checkered. It's a brown one. Do you remember this? Do you remember a brown sports jacket that your dad would wear?
I do remember him having a brown sports jacket. Yeah.
Okay, it's brown, but I see him wearing this. Again, I do feel when he was younger, he's bringing me back to the yesteryears of that self because he wants you to remember him this way. I also do need to mention, as I connect to you, there's something to do with either, would you understand about him either having problems with his stomach or issues with his stomach?
Mm-hmm.
Right, because he's saying that's not there no more. I got to talk about that, and he wants to tell you that he wants to dance with you. He wants to dance with you. Okay,
Yeah.
there's a significance with dancing with your dad, and he's very very proud of being your dad. He's very proud of you. He's wanting to talk to me about also the flowers that you gave or the flowers that you left. And to be more specific, there must have been either purplish flowers. Do you know about purple flowers or what the significance of flowers that are purple? Or purple roses or purple flowers. What does that mean? Oh, wait a minute. Whose birthday? I keep getting happy birthday.
Aaron's birthday.
My birthday's on Tuesday, and his birthday was
Oh, and
the
his
other
birthday
day.
was just the other day.
Just the other day, but this is your birthday. Now, who would this be to
That
you?
would have been my grandfather.
Your grandpa.
It was my
Okay.
grandfather, yeah.
All right. He's saying happy birthday, sweetheart. Because he's
Oh, yeah.
that's when he's coming in.
Aw.
So I know this would be your dad, your grandpa.
Yeah.
He just said, and I know even though his birthday, but he's saying
Yeah.
happy birthday, so he's
me.
directing it to you.
This is
So
Tuesday.
this is your daughter?
Yes.
Okay, all right, that's it. That's because there's a birthday from your grandpa
Yeah.
to say that as he comes across. So I'm going to leave you with that.